Alright, hey you guys, this is art log number 17. So basically, since my last art log, I've been spending a lot of time in my sketchbooks, just filling them up because while I was in community college, we bought a lot of sketchbooks and I never filled them up. Like I'd be in the middle of like an empty sketchbook and I'd go and buy like two more. So lately I've just been trying to focus strictly on filling these things up with studies and trying to get as best as I can at understanding gestures and stuff like that. So these are landscapes though. Like I think these are like 2-minute landscapes or something like that. Yeah, these are definitely not. So I did the landscapes and then just afterwards I just drew in little house studies that I just like to throw in here and there. Perspective's kind of off on some of them, but I try not to focus too much on that when I'm just doing it for fun. But they're super fun, yeah. And here's another one. What I like to do in my sketchbooks, I'll start off with the day and the time that I started that page and the time that I ended that page. So this was basically like about a 40-minute, maybe a little bit more page of just looking at a pose and drawing it. And then I just went through and like messed around with shapes. I love doing that. For me personally, like I hate having a lot of empty space in between my pages. And it's hard for me sometimes to remember that, you know, it's a sketchbook, so everything doesn't have to look perfect. So that's why these pages tend to be like super long, because I always focused on making everything look all cool and perfect. But later as we go in, I stopped trying to focus on that so much. Like, for example, I went through and made some stretch studies. So I looked up on Google, like, pictures of stretches and people stretching, and then I just drew them. And these are 3 minutes each on average because I started like right here. I started at 2:58 and I ended at 3:26. And this was 3 in the morning. So, yeah. And then I did a little experimenting with faces and whatnot. I don't know if I have a completely new sketchbook dedicated to this because I was trying to kind of show my little brother that you don't have to, you should never expect to be, really super good at something after only doing it, X amount of times or like one time out of a week, So yeah, so I just kind of went back to trying to study face construction and all that. Here's just some more landscapes that I did. Yeah, so that's the time that I started. That's the time that I ended. I'll try to get that in there naturally, but since there's so many pages, like I did all these pages in this book, I finished the rest of the sketchbook basically in about a month or two, just with studies. Every page obviously isn't like as full as these ones are, but as you can see, like I write the date on there. This is like 9/3/20. So I started that at 9:08. So yeah, my neck is starting to hurt looking at this, so I'm gonna just try to get through these as quick as I can. Just a lot of studies. And the thing that I like to do with pen is I like to draw things with pen as far as studies go, because, or at least for posing, not so much faces, that sucks. But what I try to do is and you'll see on some of these, like I'll start at like 4:24 p.m. and then like next thing you know, I'm ending it the next day in the morning. It's just because I got distracted or something like that and didn't finish the page on time. So it kind of motivates me to never stop midway through a page, to always commit to finishing them. This is just some more like, it's just studying shapes more and just epically failing at it. But that's what a sketchbook is for. It's not supposed to be looking perfect or anything like that. So here's another one that I did of running. So I just looked up a whole bunch of pictures of people running and just tried to understand the pose. And I really prefer doing these kinds of studies. Sorry, I'm sitting down here. I really prefer doing these kinds of studies in my sketchbook, because when I do them on Photoshop, I get obsessed with them being perfect and using the eraser tool and stuff like that. So I just try not to ever get caught up in all that stuff. Yeah. And a lot of people don't capture gestures this way, I guess. I mean, for me, it works a lot because, how do I explain it? Like, there's not so much, like, energy as far as, like, loose lines or anything like that, but it works for me for now. I don't really have a full understanding of it yet, right? More shape studies, just random. stuff. These are 1-minute sketches that I do every now and then. So like I'll start off the day sometimes with like 30 of these, so you can see the time. More 1-minute sketches, and I really like. These aren't 1-minute sketches for sure. I don't know what these are. These are probably like 90-second ones. Oh, these are 1 minutes too. Wow. So you can see. Oh crap! My sketchbook's starting to like tilt over the edge now. But you can really see here that, you know, the quality is kind of getting better. I'm starting to get used to it, and the main thing for me is just learning how to use time wisely. Like it just, like these are 1-minute sketches, so like it's just, for me it's just all about learning how to use time wisely. What information needs to be there, what information doesn't. Really awkward poses too. Like it's a lot of those. I just keep, like, even when I don't understand something like a running pose, I just keep drawing it. Because, I mean, even though that it never really comes out perfectly, in my mind, I know not to make that same mistake again, especially if it's in a sketchbook and I don't want that to be an eyesore, so I just keep going at it sometimes. More 1-minute sketches. 1-minute sketches have kind of become my favorites. I mean, I like 1-minute sketches more than I do making the sketchbook look all perfect and stuff. So that's basically, like, pretty much what I focused on the most. I forgot to write the starting time here. And then I went back to doing the, like, you know, not timed ones, just kind of focusing and having fun with it. And then went right back to doing the 1 minutes. It's just really, yeah. And this is all like 16 days into the month, so it's really, I highly recommend you guys to give this a try if you haven't already. I'm sorry if you see pencil shavings and stuff all over the place. It's not exactly easy to just like quickly clean up the room before I start recording. So I moved everything that was kind of like messed up out of the way, so I could at least focus more on the sketch or the sketchbook. So more 1-minute poses. Like I said, some of them are obviously going to look bad. You might see the same pose twice because I'm using the same website, which is, I think the website was called quickposes.com. So, yeah, some of them are nude, some of them aren't nude. So, I mean, kind of got to get used to that and just hope no one walks in on you while you're doing it, because then it's just awkward for everybody. It's like, no, you don't understand. It's studying. Yeah, you can kind of tell which ones are female too. Like, it's kind of weird. Like, that one's definitely female. I don't know which other ones are though, honestly. I'm bad at this right now. So yeah, that's basically, I'm really surprised my phone hasn't cut off yet. But that's basically all of my sketches that I've done so far since then. Obviously I have some in my landscapes and all that, but you know what, I might go into that too. So yeah, more 1.5 minute sketches. I find these kind of really good too, the 1.5 minutes, because I at least get to like shade things in. I think that's a big part of me liking and the way it looks, and it gives me this warm feeling. So obviously I'm always going to do that. So we're getting closer to the end of the sketchbook. So yeah, and then I like to, what I want to start doing is, like, for the last like maybe like 10 pages in a sketchbook, just have the poses all from my head. So these are all poses from my head. I didn't really look these up at all. So that's what I want to do. I kind of ripped a page out. This was back like when I didn't use it at all, but I ended up doing all those pages in about a month. So yeah, what I want to do is go back and, like, you see how the back of these pages are all empty, so I kind of want to go in the back and just kind of like go all the way back to the beginning of these, and just, oh, this is a sketch that I did in community college, but basically I want to go through and draw on the backs of the pages. I skipped the first couple pages because they're a little flimsy, like right there. So I do want to go back and get that practice in, and just use as much be efficient as efficient as I can be with the paper. So that's my plan right now. Right now I'm focusing more on, oh yeah, and then like when I did it, this one girl, she drew my name and these cute words, cute letters or whatever. These are more studies from like that before I made the art log. But I just wanted to make this quick video because I mean, whenever I do my art log, I don't really have too much to show for it as far as digital work. I do have, sorry if the screen is shaking too, this thing's a little dirty. You can see like at the top, like the pages are starting to, it's a flesh water. These are starting to wear down, so I'm really hesitant as far as like choosing whether or not I want to do the back of the pages. But yeah, that's basically it. I don't really have too much to say other than that. I might go back and do these. I still have my landscape. No, these are faces right here, but let me see. Hold on. Just want to make sure that these aren't. So I'll show a couple of my landscapes that I've done here and there. So, yeah, so like in the same months, you know, sometimes I go to a whole different sketchbook and do different things. So that's kind of the case. Sometimes these are like 2-minute ones, landscapes. I really want to get better at them, so I've been just kind of putting more and more time into them. That's a tent, if you can't tell. Don't know if my camera's focused. Yeah, there it is. Yeah, that's a tent. So yeah, just really hard angles to capture, but I don't know. Sometimes I feel really good about gesture drawings, and then like, I mean, landscapes, and then other times I'm just like, man, like why did I even start a sketchbook for this? But hopefully, you know, down the road, because these are only 2 minutes, right? Like these are some of my like more, the ones that I put a little bit more time into. I'm not at the point where you can exactly understand what's on the page yet, but I'm just learning how to block shapes in and all that stuff. And as you can see, like I have a lot of pages to go through. So I just like to start off with the 2 minutes because that stops me from getting my expectations too high. So that's for that. So this is the sketchbook, by the way. And the way I see sketchbooks is like you want to count the pages double if you use both sides of the pages. Like when I go back through these, I do want to use the other sides of the pages. Anyways, here's a quick video. So yeah, I'm gonna go make something to eat because I'm hungry. Peace.